Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for returning. If you are new here, welcome in. Thank you for clicking on the video. Today I decided it was time to do our 10 before the end, which is crazy that we're already coming to the end of 2024 and we're going to be entering 2025 soon. Like, that just blows my mind for me. I don't think, it's not even I don't think, I know I probably won't read all 10 of these. I am a slow reader, and I've been in a little bit of a reading slump right now. We're over halfway through the month and I've only read 2 books so far, which is sad for me. That's kind of what's going on right now with me. But needless to say, I am excited for all 10 of these books. They're on my radar. They are my priority reads right now. And so I have a set TBR, as y'all know, for November. It's right here. This is my TBR for November. I don't know. I'm becoming a mood reader, which is good and bad because it's, I'm reading what I want to read, but at the same time, I want to have a TBR. I love doing my TBR videos and all that. So, oh no, I love doing the videos. I love having a TBR. But man, am I mood reading. So I think from now on, we're gonna do a lower amount for our TBR videos, just picking about 5 or 6, and then leaving the rest open for gaps of when I want to mood read. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll stop talking. I know, I'm a yapper. I can't help it. I have no one else to talk to about books around here. So y'all just have to deal with it. Sorry. Okay, book number 1 is Iron Flame. As many of you know, I love Fourth Wing so much. That is my book of the year. It is the book that made me discover 6-star feeling, and it imprinted itself on me. I've not picked up Iron Flame, and that's just because Onyx Storm is coming out literally in 2 months, and so I was putting it off closer to it because I just didn't want to consume this world too fast and then have nothing, you know? So I don't know, this was a strategy move for me where I was okay, I'm gonna wait and then I'll read it. So yeah, a lot of people have been you love Fourth Wing so much and you haven't read Iron Flame. And I'm well, I have a reason. There's a reason behind my madness, and that is the reason. So I will be getting to this very soon. I'm actually gonna check it out. I recently got Hoopla, I think is what it's called. It was a process, by the way. I don't even want to talk about it because I left the library crying. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But anyways, yes. So I'm hoping to immerse read this, listen to it on audiobook while reading it. So I just know it's gonna make the experience way better. Next is another series that I need to continue, and I really loved the first book in this. I actually read it last month. I gave it 4.25 stars. So we have Nightbane by Alex Astor. I have recently discovered Alex. I read Light Lark last month. It was addicting. It's just the best way to describe it. I was addicted to the story. I was addicted to the characters. I don't know what it is. I guess I've discovered something new about me, but I really enjoy love triangles. I don't know why, but I do. And it's frustrating at the same time. It's one of those things you don't know why you like it, but you know you do because you keep picking up stories with that trope in it, and you're oh man, maybe I do like this, but I shouldn't like it, because love triangles are frustrating because you have your opinion, but all these other people have their opinion, and so it's I know who I am rooting for in this series, but I know other people are rooting for the other, and I know Sky Shade left off on a cliffhanger as well, and I know this is gonna leave off on a cliffhanger, but there's one clear winner to me. So, and I think I'm really invested in the love triangle as well. I think that's my problem. I get so invested in it. Light Lark was fantasy Hunger Games, but not as brutal is the best way to put it. And so whenever I hear Hunger Games compared to a book, I'm yes, give me that. So Games and Trials is also a new thing that I've discovered that I love. And really, I'm not a big fantasy reader either, and I'm recently getting into my fantasy kick. So it's all these books are fantasy for the most part because I really am feeling a fantasy kick. Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I read Divine Rivals months ago, and I mean months ago, but I still remember what happened, the cliffhanger, my love for Iris and Rowan. I love them so much. I gave that book 5 stars. Divine Rivals was a 5-star read for me. I love the characters. I love the found family trope in it. It's actually one of the books that made me realize, oh, this is what found family is. Like, I really didn't understand it in the beginning of my reading journey. I was like, oh, so this is like what found family is. Like, so that book just holds a special place in my heart. I haven't picked this up because there's mixed reviews on this. Some people love this more than Divine Rivals. A lot of people said it was not as good as Divine Rivals, and it was hard to hold their attention. So I've just been scared to pick this one up, honestly. But I want to close out their story. I want to know what happens because you are left on a cliffhanger in Divine Rivals. And so it's like, I need to know. Okay, and now these are all like new series, new books that I want to start, and this is the most exciting part. Powerless. I know, I'm one of the only people in this world who hasn't read it yet. I haven't experienced the hype, but when I said I'm addicted to games and trials right now, I firmly am. And this is like the ultimate games and trials I've heard, with the most amazing banter, and I think it's enemies to lovers as well. And man, enemies to lovers, good banter, games and trials. What more can I ask for? I don't even know very much about this except for in a world with people who have powers, she's powerless. And so I believe she like ends up helping someone, and because of that, she gets thrown into this, is what I think. But other than that, I don't know anything. I've been avoiding it. I know y'all have been reading Powerful and Reckless, and a lot of y'all are hyped because the next book comes out next year. But I've been avoiding you all because I don't want any spoilers of this. So next up is Butcher and Blackbird. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I haven't picked this up yet. My book bestie Haley, we recently started a podcast together, and she raves about this. She's like, it's so good, it's so funny, you'll love it, check your trigger warnings for sure. But she knows me, so she knows I'm gonna love this, so she's been recommending this to me, and I haven't picked it up yet. But I love true crime, I love Criminal Minds, crime shows and everything, so I just know I'm gonna love this because I love rom-coms. So like, come on, serial unalivers, love story, rom-com, like, come on. I know I'm gonna love this. I just haven't picked it up yet, so I really want to, especially because the special edition came out, and I need to read this to know if I love it to get the special edition. Sometimes I impulsively buy a special edition without knowing, and I'm trying to be better about that. Like, I have a Court of Thorns and Roses collector's edition, and I haven't even read the book yet. So how do I know? And I have all these collectors or special editions up here, haven't touched them, you know. Like, I'm trying to be better about it. I'm not canceling my Fairy Loot though. Not happening. That's never gonna happen. Even if I never read the Fairy Loot books, like, it's not happening. But yeah, back on my games and trials, we have The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is vampires, games and trials, and so I've never read a vampire book before, so this will be my first one, but I don't know anything about it. I am going into this blind as well. All I know is that she was trained by someone, and then she is sent to do this, and I believe she's mortal, and they're vampires, and so she's at a disadvantage, but she's been training for this like her whole life. So that's all I know. That is all I know. And if that information isn't accurate, I'm sorry, because I'm trying not to learn too much about these books. I love going into books blind and not really knowing much about it. I feel like it just makes the experience way more for me. Caraval, I read last month, and I had seen so many reviews and everything about it that I just felt I wasn't immersed into the story because you hear X, Y, and Z all the time. So that's one of the books I highly recommended going into blind from my wrap up, and so I'm trying to do that more with books, so that way it's not, because that book had potential to be like a 4-star or above, and I think I give it like 3.5, 3.75 because of it. My bangs, I don't know what it is, but they will not, like, just, it's not banging. Like, there's always this gap over here, and I'm over it, and it won't lay down. It won't. And I hate it, because it wasn't like this before I restraightened my, I don't know. We have hucked, and let's take a moment for the sprayed edges. Like, these are gorgeous. I love them. I actually impulsively bought this. I don't really know much about it, except for he's a hockey player, she's a book girly, and I guess they like have one night together, and she's like, okay, that's it, but he like starts talking books to her, and then it goes from there. And that's all that's like just from glancing at the back. I really didn't like read the back in detail. That's all I know, but I don't know what it is. I've been craving a hockey romance, and this is the one I have around, so I was like, ooh. And it looks good. I love the cover. I love the sprayed edges. Like, this makes me want to pick up this book. And it's honestly not too long too. It's like 350 pages. Like, that's not bad for a romance book at all, considering some of them can be like 600 pages. Okay, this is probably one that people have been asking me to read because they're like, it's so good, it's one of my favorite series, and I'm terrified. But the flop on this book is unreal. It's so floppy, and I love it. More books should be this floppy. Like, when I can fly it like a bird, you know it's a good flop. Anyways, Binding 13 by Chloe Wash. Now, I'm terrified of this book. One, because as the series continues, the books get thicker. This is already a thick book. Like I said, 600 pages for a romance book. And I heard that the books used to be smaller and bigger too. So like, yeah, but I just know this is a well-loved, well-talked about series. Everyone who reads this seems to love this series. I literally have not heard one bad thing about this, and I don't know. See the flop coming in. I'm having FOMO. A lot of people have read this. I feel like everyone has read this but me. I just know it's a rugby romance. I don't know rugby at all. Definitely not set in the US, that's for sure. I think it's set in the UK is what it is. I'll have to ask my UK bestie. And when I go visit her, I wonder if we can go to a rugby game or something like that. I don't know. I just know like this is very, very emotional. I'm probably gonna cry more than likely throughout the series, and I'm an emotional person. I cried to everything. I just cry to everything. It's real. It's very real. It's very emotional. There are gonna be things that are going to be sad. So, am I ready? No. Do I need to read this series? Yes. This is probably the one book that like I am looking forward to the most. Like, I have heard nothing but good things about this as well, but this is the book like I want to pick it up as soon as possible. And that's out on a limb. First off, I really love this cover. I like the old cover as well, but I think this one's better. And when they can improve a cover and make the old one look good, but the new one look great, I appreciate that, because there's sometimes they change the covers and I'm like, why'd you do that? Why? So, appreciation. I heard this is accidental pregnancy trope, but I've heard it's done so tastefully, so well, that you are just so in love with this book. And so, I don't know, there's something, the mom in me just wants to get into this. I want their story. I know nothing else about it, literally nothing else about it, but I want to read it. And lastly, the last book on the list, Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Now, I want to read yours truly because I've heard that the anxiety in that is displayed so well, it's done so well, it's written so well. So that's the book that I want to read, but you have to read this first. I know they're interconnected standalone, so you technically don't have to, but you do. That is my bookish hot take for this video. Do what you want, but I'm too OCD, so I have to read this. I think it's like country boy, small town girl, you know. I don't know what's going on in this, except for everyone loves Abby Jimenez's stories and writings. I heard this series, interconnected series, is her best. So I want to experience it. So I think it's gonna be cute. I really just don't know anything about it. I think there's an age gap in it as well, like she's older and he's younger. But yeah, other than that, I'm kind of going, like I said, going into these books blind, and I think that's like the best way to do it. That is our 10 before the end. We have a variety of fantasy and romance, pretty much is what it is. And I couldn't be happier about it. This is probably like, this is why I wish my TBR was this month, honestly. But I'm excited for each and every one of them. I'm excited to experience these worlds and these people. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you made it to the end of this video, please just drop a heart emoji at the end. I appreciate you all so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the year and you get your 10 before the end done, because I really feel like this is not happening for me. But you never know, maybe I'll go back on like a reading kick or something like that and do absolutely nothing but read. So, okay, thank you, love y'all, bye.